How you doing? This is our Sunday show, and we are live, live, because it's better that way. So, how are you guys doing on this Sunday? You can see that I'm in that room we were talking about, and as a gaming room, it's coming together. We got it cleaned out. We got the flooring in the other day, so now I'm beginning to move things in. I got the bookcase you always seen behind me in my front room is now over here in the corner with the games on it. And got that taken apart, moved in, cleaned everything. It was amazing what you forget you have, by the way. And so, yeah. So, my accomplishments for the week have been just that a new floor put in the room, and the games moved over. And of course, this table that I'm sitting on right now is the one I told you guys about that I bought from that banquet company. So it's been a great table to use for gaming. It's 4x4. That's what I got my laptop on right now. Eventually, in this corner right here, which I can kind of turn the laptop. This corner is where I'm going to put my desk, my corner desk that you guys are usually used to seeing me on. And once that's there, I've got to run the cable. And then this will be, we'll start doing our shows from here. And the left side of the room will be where the gaming table is, and we'll have those things done. So it'll be nice. Hey, what's up, my brother Mythos? How are you, sir? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming in on a few minutes on our little live stream earlier. It was quite interesting. I hope you're doing good there, Mythos. And so I was just chit chatting that me and Keegan got the floor down here in the room, and I've got the bookcase in here with the games. Of course, not all the games, but most of them. And the next thing through the week, I'm going to start moving the desk in here and my desktop and getting all that. That'll all be off to the side, and it's going to make it nice to just have a room to just game, as opposed to trying to do everything out of the front room. It will then free up my front room. Not that I have any big parties or anything, but when I have the grandkids over and the little miniature over and she's crawling around everywhere, then she'll have a place to crawl around. So I think that will be good. So other than that, and today we played Necromunda, Clint and D, and kind of drug out a little bit, but in the end, Clint won. And you got to establish trade routes with that. So the next one will be me and Keegan. Oh, wow. Did you share that, Mythos? It said you shared it. Thank you. I appreciate that, sir. Very much so. So then me and Keegan will probably just game here at the house or something and do that. And then me and him have to fight for a trade route because Necromunda comes with a map. And so you want to secure as many of the routes as you can, because at the end of every game, whatever route you own, you get credits. And whatever credits you get, you can use to upgrade your weapons, your armor, your vehicles, and whatnot. So the more routes you control, the more money you'll make. I mean, this game is designed to just go on forever. Like, there's no end to it. I mean, yeah, I didn't never get a notification before, Mythos, but this time it just showed up that you had shared that. So that's interesting. Might be something new that they're doing with this software. It just kind of popped up on the right side, so that's cool. I appreciate you sharing it, though, very much so. And I don't know what happened to Keegan. I don't know if Keegan's still there or not. Maybe he is. So, anyways, with Necromunda, you got to have trade routes to make money. The good thing is you can use a lot of your 40K stuff in it. Arbites versus squats. Yeah, let's go. There you go, Keegan. You got challenged, right? Kind of, sort of. He loves his squats, his Votann. He really does. Um, his little guys, yep. And the heck, of course. There we go. Yeah. And so the more he plays with those, the better. Um, so there's actually been a lot going on. So I haven't had a chance to do really anything as far as putting things together. No, Mythos, you're right. He is. It is nice to see somebody hyped up about their army. Because my idea of hype is I go, hey, yeah, Mythos, I'd like to get an Invictor or I'd like to get a tank. And inside I'm happy, but that's about it. And he's really just kind of like someone pulled the pin on a happiness grenade. Um, so I think the only one that's maybe not so happy is Crystal because it cost him a few bucks, but she probably doesn't know the extent of that. So I don't know, but yeah, he is pretty stoked about it, and he's learned quite a bit pretty fast. So he's actually waiting Mythos for a 10th edition because like, apparently that's coming. Everybody's saying it's coming. And I just got used to 9. You know, I got back into it when 8 came out, and um, it was one of those things. And now 10's coming out, but he wants to go do tournaments. And I told him, if you got it down enough to do it, then do it. Well, hello, Ravens Rock Miniature. How are you, sir? Quiet people can be cool too, huh? Yeah. Thanks, Mythos. And yes, I'm happy to see Raven. Rook Miniatures here. Thank you, sir. We were just talking about Keegan and his undying love for his Voton, which is admirable. He really likes it, and I'm glad he likes the game because if people don't enjoy it, then it's no fun. You got to enjoy what you're gaming with. So he really loves the Voton or the squats, and he is looking. He was talking to all the guys at the game store who's gonna print him one with a sniper rifle. So I think if he can find the stats for that, he will be pretty nasty group he's got. For me, I just have the Ultramarines, nothing special, but I like them, so that's what I first got started with. I've got more than enough to play with, other than looking for an excuse to buy a couple extra pieces, and yeah. Speaking of which, Mythos, I'm waiting for that piece. I'm excited to get that. Mythos was kind enough to make me one, build a model and paint it for me, which is absolutely fantastic. Um, so that's what we're talking about there, Ravens Rook, is just miniatures. It's almost always miniatures, sometimes video games, but we play so many different tabletop miniature games that we're not experts like, say, Mythos and Freak are pretty much experts on Warhammer. We're not nowhere near that. We are, though, just kind of dangerous in a whole bunch of games. Oh, you mailed it already? Ooh, okay. As soon as I get that, I will show that off. That is fantastic. And I can't thank you enough for that, Mythos, because I was actually looking at him thinking, I wonder if this is a figure I should get or not. But then I was tossing up that Invictor Warsuit or a tank. So it was kind of just trying to figure out what to do. So, man, I'm super stoked to get that. I guess I can't get up and dance like Keegan does, but, I don't want to cut into Keegan's dance routine. Mini Worm and him have something special there. So we'll just, don't even have to talk about it. We'll just let it go and we'll keep it between them. But yeah, I got to get back to my desktop because if I bump my table, well, it's much appreciated, man. It really is, Mythos. I do absolutely appreciate that. So we will see when it gets here. I have to relook up what he can do, but he's pretty formidable. So that will help me out quite a bit with my army. Very much so, by the way. So, and then it's just a matter of getting some of the other stuff together. My son Joshua started to get back into gaming a little bit, which is good. He was into it for a long time. He really likes Elder Scrolls: A Call to Arms. I've talked about it before. The miniatures are really nicely done. The map is beautiful. Um, Modifius did an amazing work on their terrain. So it's a good game. I just don't know how to play it. I only played it with him once or twice, but he knows the game. So I'm going to see if we can get something like that going too. Because I think it would be beneficial to show that off. Like I've said before, not a lot of people know that some of your video games, like Resident Evil, you can take it straight to the board. And movies like Aliens and whatnot, there's quite a bit that translates straight over into the miniature world, and that's cool. And at some point, I want to do some of the more historical stuff, but yes, Ravens, Rook, you're completely correct, sir. And I'm glad you agree with me. That's just kind of the way I think a lot of people feel. I mean, if you're not interested and you feel forced, just because your friends are, it's not worth doing. I completely like the lore for the Ultramarines. I don't know about a lot of the lore and everything else because I just kind of narrow-minded that way, and absolutely I enjoy that. Just like Mini Warmut, hello, sir. And Raven's Rook, he is Mini Warmut's kind of like our plastics crack dealer, we just unofficial. Here, Greg, here's a box of sprues, and he'll open up, he'll let you smell the box, and he closes it and goes, now, I'll give you the link to where it's at on eBay. And then you're like, damn it. So, but you got to enjoy it. Like that Zombicide game, and Mythos played it, and his wife played it. It's fun. The miniatures are kind of cool, but the game itself is fun. And it's like the old Atari games, right? You have some of those beautiful games they make today that are 4K, and you guys know your eyes can't see 4K, but okay, they're gorgeous games, right? But they're not fun. Some of them just aren't fun. You get these old crappy looking cheesy games that you can sit there for hours. So a lot of it is playability, whether it's a video game or it's a tabletop game. Either it's playable and you like it or you don't. Yeah, kind of cool in a good way, Mini Warmut, not in a bad way. And I don't mean to put Zombicide down at all. The miniatures are nice. They are kind of cool. Now, compared, I'm sorry, to some of GW stuff or some of these others, like maybe Prairie miniatures and stuff, they're not as detailed. But then again, they're just monsters. And, so it doesn't have to be detailed. But they're very nice ones. I mean, on my shelf, I got the Invader box, the Invader doors, the extra Invader kit you sent me, Mini Warmut, and card holders, I think. Yeah. Well, I'm glad Scarface is ready to go. That's cool. Yeah. So look, see Mini Warmut. So Frost and Fist, their Mythos says it is a ton of fun. He's trying to show it off to new players. Yeah, when friends and family come up, because it's a good way to get them interested in the miniature gaming. I mean, it's like that day me and Clint went to the park last year. We're not experts in Warhammer by far. But when we set our stuff up on a park bench and it's next to the sidewalk and you're just playing at the picnic bench, and people just walk by and are like, oh, wow, what's that? They didn't even have a clue this stuff existed. So it was kind of fun, even though we are not anywhere close to the level of other 40K players by a long shot. We know enough to be dangerous, and we got to spread the word. And that was kind of interesting because a lot of these younger people, the teenagers, they just didn't know. And so, that was fun. Yes, Mini Warmut, they can't be compared to GW. But I mean, that's why when I said kind of cool, I wasn't trying to put them down. I mean, I wouldn't have all these miniatures with if I didn't like them. But it's absolutely a pretty cool game. I guess the this campaign with Necromonday that Keegan's got us doing. We'll do that a couple weeks, and then as I get ready to go to that show, I've got to finish building up my Soviet army. I will tell you this, Mythos and Rook and everybody listening, and Mini Wormut. So in my Battlefront box, I got 2 sprues where the tank barrels were broken. And I have to say this about Battlefront. I emailed them. They sent me an email back, an automated one right away saying, hey, we're closed till January 3rd. And so January 4th, I got an email. And they said, hey, send us your address and pictures of the broken sprues, and we'll take care of you. And so I took the pictures the other day and sent them my address and sent them. That quick, they were on their customer service. And yeah, they probably did get smashed in their mini warm-up, but I just wanted to point out that, see, a lot of these companies do care, and they're good with that. And to go back to what Mythos says, yes, it makes it more appealing to the average person. Correct. Because if you take the average person and you just try to throw them upside down into Warhammer, it's too complicated. And some of these other games, it's like they don't have any basis of anything to relate to fall back on to start with. So then they just give up. So if it's an easier game to get into, like Zombicide, almost everybody likes zombies or zombie types of movies. There's a draw there. And the gameplay is easy. So it introduces them right away to miniatures and tabletop gaming and board gaming. And plus you got cards. So actually, psychologically, Zombicide has a pull. Miniatures, card games, board games, right? They covered all 3 bases. So games like that, those are a pretty good pull to people. One of my fallbacks too, like I said before, is Wings of Glory. Why? Because the miniatures are pre-painted right out of the box. There's no dice. Put the planes on the table. World War I, World War II. Your cards have arrows, how the planes can maneuver. The other person doesn't know what you're going to do, and you just got to shoot them down. It's super easy. It's just a matter of what you pick, and you got to try to outthink the other person. But it gets the miniature fact going. It gets them used to card play and how the cards will upgrade the stuff, and it gets them into the tabletop aspect. So any of those games that are easy, I think, are great. And then once you get into it, like you want to do more, but at least you have a basis to fall back on. Because like Necromunda, geez, this thing is invasively deep, you guys. Like, it's almost too much because there's a lot of role playing in that, and it's literally designed so that once you're a customer, you will never grow bored. Like, you're never going to be. The game doesn't ever end. It's not like throwing down some kill team or something. And you progress your characters, their abilities, or they decrease as they suffer injuries, or you buy things to upgrade. So it's quite detailed, probably more detailed than it needs to be. But then again, I see what they've done. They've done it to where you could play it for 40 years and you're just not ever going to be done with the game. You can be done with your missions and whatnot. So what the upside to it is, you can't just jump in and overpower everything by picking whatever you think is going to work the best. So that's an upside. So I don't know. I know I'm talking too much probably, but let's see. What did you say here, Mythos? Hold on a moment. Yes. So I think that too is huge. That, well, we all enjoy painting miniatures, and that's a progression thing, I think. To get people going, there's no stress of how are these going to look on the table, what kind of paints, because really, to paint one model, look at how many colors of paints and shades they want you to use. It gets to be daunting. So I think ones with the miniatures pre-done, that's kind of what I like about Zombicide. They're just a standard color there, and you know that they're monsters, and yet they each look different, so you can look and say, hey, this is a runner, this is a walker for the most part. These are the abominations. And so you don't really have to paint them. You could more or less color code them too. Okay. So good question, Mini Warmut. What games are we looking at playing in 2023? Now that 2023 is here, it's more or less a focus on trying to stick with the game plans. So, yeah. And then games such as, oh, hey, Wardrobe, how are you, man? Um, let's see here. Fistful led bigger battles. I would have to try that. So, Todd, those are some good ideas he's got there. Our ideas are pretty much to try to get the Necromunda thing down and do that. Of course, Team Yankee, because we're doing that too. More Fistful led. Todd there and Jeff from Hex to Hex did get me into the chit game. So I mean, I bought another one, Todd. So yeah, and so we're going to be doing some more of those too. So there are a few things like that. As far as like, I like what Todd's saying there, Wardrobe, with a 6mm World War II Canadian Army. So 6mm is kind of a cool scale to play with. I have a bunch of tanks in 6mm. I'm not really sure about troops. They're awful, awful tiny. But the 6mm tanks, you could do large scale battles on a table. So yeah, um, different rule systems too. But more or less, Mini Warmut to continue the Zombicide, continue Necromunda, uh, do more with the Team Yankee, and incorporate the Hex Encounter games into our stuff too. As we go, of course, we're still going to do things like Star Wars, Aliens, but I got some Zvezda stuff that's really might be interesting to you, Todd. If you don't know who they are, and I'm sure you probably do, but Zvezda has their maps are all hexes, and your miniature unit one will represent many. So it's a hex encounter game, but with miniatures, and each miniature, just like a chit, represents whatever. And so you've got interesting gameplay that way too, um, and they're very well done games. So that's kind of what we're trying to do there, Mini Warmut, to answer your question. And that, and I got to finish up Star Wars Legion. That ended up getting put on hold while we're redoing the rest of this. But once this room's coming along pretty good, so once it's done, then we'll have somewhere to put it. But you should check out Todd's channel. I seen him put up a 70-inch TV to display his stuff on, which was brilliant, sir. Really nice Wardrobe. Um, really nice move. Now, I don't have anywhere to put up a 70-inch TV, and if I did, Keegan would probably be playing Farming Simulator, and that game is so mind-numbing. It's really difficult for me to watch. So when I go over to his house, I literally have to just like this and talk to Keegan because it is to me a pretty boring game. But yeah, the Fistful of Lead, bigger battles, World War II. That's interesting. We'd have to try that because we do have a lot of World War II stuff. So that's kind of where we're going this year, Mini Warmut. You said you wanted to get together with us every month to do a zombie thing, so I'll hold you to that because we like Zombicide. So I don't see why we can't, to be honest with you. Add that in. We're just doing our schedule like 2 months at a time at this point. Nice. Black Powder, Hail Caesar. I'm interested in what you're going to do with the Black Powder there, Mini Warmut, because I like those historical kind of games too. I just haven't had anybody to game with them, so I haven't gotten involved in them. And I didn't want to do big games just solo like that. Um, but yeah, So I should put something in writing, I guess, and put it up for what specifically we're going to do. But that's pretty much where it's at, and because of Jeff and wardrobe here, so there's already another hex game that I bought. So we'll do that too. It's tanks eastern or east front, so it's mostly armor, and these are 1-inch square chits. A lot easier for my big old meat hooky fingers to grab. So the hexes are a little bigger, but hell, it came with 3 maps. So, oh, and Ravensbrook says, oh, yeah, you can't use other companies' models and proxy them in. You're right about that. Some of the stores won't let you do that. The Gar Gaming store has quite a few games going on, but it's all official stuff. I don't see anybody proxying in anything, really, especially when it comes to GW. Well, hello, Singing Piranha. How are you, sir? You're looking forward to the new plastic rule set from War Games? So you'll have to fill me in on that one and let me know. The thing is, there's so many rules coming out over the last couple of years to offset some of these very complicated ones that you got a choice now, man. Of course, I like Fistful of Lead rules. I got introduced to that, and I like the ease of that gameplay. And I'm sure there's others that are easy too. This is pretty much what you want to game with. For us, I'm going to have to look at the Fistful of Lead bigger battles just because we got a lot of World War II stuff, and it might be easier to do the big armor battles with that. Oh, yeah, Mini Warm-Up. We need to get the Wild West game finished up with McMurray because me and McMurray were on the train. So I kind of want to see what happens when we get off and end up in that town. And knowing you, there's going to be some weird stuff going on. Scary weird. I mean, we're talking about a guy that makes armored Christmas presents and trees with teeth. So, yeah, should be interesting. And painting and building, yeah. Unfortunately, I put my painting and building off in order to accomplish trying to finish up this room. So for wardrobe and rooks and singing, I don't know if this was my kids' room. They used to play games in before, they grew up and moved out. And so this wall was done. And it's got like Oblivion, Call of Duty, Crash, Star Wars, Black Ops, Ghost Recon. The ceiling's got Dead Space. So it kind of looks weird, like I'm in some sort of spray painted place because that's what it is. So what I'm going to do is keep their room and make it the gaming room. So as they come back over, this is where they spent many years gaming. There's a lot of memories here with them, their friends, and family. So it just kind of makes sense to just convert it now. They're gone. So I may as well convert it. My one son comes back once in a while, and I can put him in a different room. So in a back alley. Yeah, it does kind of look like I'm in a back alley, don't it, Mini Warm-Up? But that's the reason for those of you that don't know why it looks the way it does. We've only had one person say, oh, no, Greg, you should paint it over. But the problem is the kids did this all by hand. And they spray painted it, and they've asked me to keep it. So the room is pretty much done, Mini Warm-Up. I have to cut the door down and refit it. Now I have to move the desk. My desk in the front room back here, I have to rerun the cable back here because there's no cable back here in this part of the room, and I can't do it from the outside. The cable company's not going to do that. So I'm going to have to run it from my front room, which is out that way, and set everything up because this corner here is going to be where I put my corner desk. And then, yeah. So, yes, I'm hurrying the best of my ability with the work schedule that I got and the work we had to do. But it does have a brand new floor. So, it's all nice and cool now. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel right there, Mythos. Exactly. Family means an awful lot to me, and I know it does to all you guys too. And so I don't know. It's been a long time we lived here. Um, so yeah, I can't. I don't know. I just wouldn't feel right about painting over it. I think though, here on the wall where my son got mad and punched the wall because he was playing EA games, and EA Sports will make you do that. Um, he had a good idea. He goes, "Why don't we just picture frame it, Dad?" And I said, "Yeah, I could. Just put a picture frame around where you punch the wall because of the game made you that mad." So that's the problem with some of the video games. But then again, he played an EA game, and EA games will do that to you because they don't necessarily work the way they're intended to work. So there's some kind of goofy stuff like that. But yeah, that's where that's at. So I am hurrying to the best of my ability. Mini warm up like today when I'm done with the show. Then because my one son Josh works and his girlfriend works, then I'll be watching the baby. So there's not much I can do in the evening. So I'll have about an hour and a half after the show to like cook dinner, let the dog out, and then I'll pick up the baby and I'll have her till about 11. So I can't really do anything. I mean, with her, other than just be goofy and play. But really, not much I can do. And so a couple nights a week, I do that for them to help them out so they can work. And it's all good because it gives me time to spend with her. And as parents, we all know you don't get that time back, man. And kids are little, if you're expecting them, and then they're here, and then they grow up, and then they move out, and then they bring their kids back, and before you know it, all you've done is work, and that time's all gone. So I'm just got a little bit different perspective on life these days. Like as much as I love gaming and the group and stuff, I got to put them first, so it works. But it's coming together many more months, and by the end of the week, I should have the other stuff moved in. But as I move things in too, I'm doing cleaning on things. I'm rearranging things. I'm trying to make it more, just get it all done. And I'm running across some stuff I forgot I had, and that's made it interesting too. Because sometimes you buy something and you stick it away and it gets buried, and you don't remember what you had till you go through. So yeah, so that's where that's at. I think it'll work out. So I think for us at Gamers with Coffee and more interaction with you guys is what we're trying to do. Also, I enjoy meeting other gamers and chit chatting with them. That's to me pretty valuable thing to be able to have other people you can talk to that you respect. I respect everybody I've run across. Maybe Warmont scares me a little bit sometimes, but he's a good guy, and it's nice that they respect me back. So it's a very positive environment. I enjoy it, and so of course I try to spread the miniature world love. I mean, yeah. Hey, Ravensbrook, thank you, sir. I appreciate it, and thank you for coming in from England. Very much appreciate it. Get some sleep. I know it's like 6 hours difference out that way, so thank you, sir. I appreciate it. That was nice of him, Mythos, to come by. That's appreciated. And when I'm done, I'll have to go see if I subscribe to him too. Give him one back. So yeah, and for him to pop in from out there, that is a big time difference. It's the thing that kind of killed it. I used to be able always to talk to Modeling for Advantage, especially when they were just starting. But now it's because of work and that 6 hours. It's difficult for me to do much with them at all, and it makes it hard. So I appreciate that. But yeah, you guys. So that's I'll figure out. So I guess I could put it in writing and put something up. And if there's something else you guys want to suggest, let me know. I know Clint games hops just a little bit, but just a tiny bit. And so he got Battletech's Alpha Strike kit there, and I know Axe Annex would love that because he likes Battletech Alpha Strike. So to me, Battletech was a good game. The only flaw was, again, you had all these dots on each appendage, so it took forever to damage a mech, and it was just drug things out too long. But Alpha Strike apparently does not, and it comes with terrain, a very nice amount of terrain. And I've seen some other guys look at it, and Clint brought it over today, so it's um, pretty good deal, really, if you like BattleTech. So that's uh, that's one thing too. Um, but yeah, man, so far so good. My biggest accomplishment will be just having more of a dedicated space, and the tile we got for free. Keegan had all this tile left over from his other house, so we're using that. The quote remodeling isn't much remodeling; it's just a lot of physical work, and it doesn't cost money. So just taking advantage of that and getting it done, and yeah, that came out pretty damn good. But once people see the background enough, they'll realize. Once I get this done too, when I put it up, I can always put up the brick background, so you don't always have to see that mini Warmont. But yeah, plus mini Warmont, you got a really nice place there too to work in. I think that's pretty cool, really. So bear with me just a moment here. So I do again want to say thanks to Raven Rook for coming by there. I appreciate that. And that's about all I've got for today, you guys. It's been a busy week. It's been a productive week for what I'm trying to do with the gaming, and still got to game today. So far so good. The next one will be me and Keegan, and he'll probably come by during the week, and we'll probably just get that done so that on next weekend we can take the campaign again and go forward. It's at your place, mini Warma. It's not really boring. You have lots of decor. It's called games, shelves and shelves of games, man. So you got quite a bit, which is good. I mean, I think it's cool to have a place. And so when the kids moved out, I mean, it's kind of depressing, honestly. I mean, as a guy, people are like, oh, guys don't care. Yeah, yeah, it was really hard for me. But on the other hand, now it gives me a more of a dedicated place that's going to work out better in the long run. So overall, good deal. It works. It works. And so the next thing we'll be doing, mini warm up, is getting ready for that march to victory to head out that way. That requires a little bit of planning on our part, and there's not that much time left. I'm kind of still waiting back to hear from them on uh, like a logo design for stuff that I was going to do on their site there to help like sponsor them. And so I'm still waiting back for that. Other than that, pretty much going to go. So your wife would be right. Yep, games don't do much in the boxes, says the wife. Well, no, but the problem is when you start getting good deals, like you've been doing mini Warma, and you start acquiring these boxes, of course you're going to have a backlog. That's okay because having a backlog is all right. You're always going to have something to do. You just don't want too much of a backlog, but in your case, you have allocated time and you have a place, which is kind of what I'm trying to do: allocate specific amounts of time with having a specific place. Because against the one wall, I'm going to have my desk on this side in the corner against this wall over here that you can't really see. Is going to go the other desk, and that desk is going to be, it's a shorter one, but it's just going to be for putting the models together and painting. And that's what it's going to be for. And the other desk will be for doing the broadcasting and the shows. This laptop does a pretty good job, although the camera is a little wonky. It looks a little grainy, but other than that, this thing does great broadcasting the way it is. And so this will work for doing mobile shows, but that way it's dedicated. Then off to the side over here is where we're going to put this table that I'm sitting at right now. and there'll be plenty of room for us to walk around it. So it'll work out good. It will work out good, sir. But games in the box, I have 2 of them. I'm looking at that tank one, although I don't need to put anything together for that because they're chits. But that World War II Barbarossa one, that's got some models that's got to be built. I guess I could finish up. I got to finish up the Team Yankee models. And I do have a box of the aliens I forgot I had for another glorious day in the Corps. So I've got to get those built also. Oh yeah, mini warm-up. You don't, I mean, hey, you got to have time to do it. So I set aside Sundays to do it. Yeah, right now, yeah, I could see where you're going to be super busy just sorry, bumped the table, just doing your videos and getting that going. You've got a lot more too. Yeah. Keegan says that sucks. Hey, the freebie subscription will work for you too. For me, I can't do the free one just because people will come in, and that's just how I got it set up. But for you, you have a lot. You've got a lot of inventory you purchased, many more than what I've seen, and so you got a lot of content to get out, which is going to be even better than the live stream is putting the content up. And so that's where I've got to up my game some more. Is it's been up and down with content, and not because that's the way I want it, just because that's the way life's been rolling out. So, like our podcast, that will be one thing that we're significantly going to be working on this year. Is I'm going to get back to doing my audio podcasts more. We were doing them 2 times a week, sometimes more. Me and Clint used to do the commute ones. Apple Podcasts got us, iHeartRadio's got us, Spotify's got us, and a few of the others, And so I want to get back to doing that and upping that. Keegan's right. Actually, yeah. Mini Warmut doesn't just have a gaming room. He literally has a store. That is true. Which is good. And I think he's just jealous, Brian, that's all. But for sure, yeah. That's one of the reasons this whole thing I talked about with the room is now, once this is set up too, you got to understand, it gives me a chance to, when I do have a little bit of time in the evenings and I'm by myself, I can still do solo stuff. And I've got to get to where I can do that because Mini Warmut's right about that. Mini Warmut's thinking of busting out the Age of Sigmar box with the Tempest of Souls. Yeah, go for it. Now, I don't know what the Tempest of Souls box is. I know Age of Sigmar, quite a few people got into that. I didn't because I'm already good where I'm at. You know what I mean? And so I'm not really taking on too many more other than some of the hex and counter games. As they come along, I'll pick some of those up as I get better at them. This next one is, like I said, is tanks and armors with big pieces, and going to just be much easier for me to do. And so that company also makes a few others. So if nothing else, throughout the year, I might do those more. And but I've got things to catch up on, and at some point, I would like to, just because I want to, I just want to take the Zombicide Invader guys and get them painted. But that's just because I want to. It's not a have to. Actually, these other things are I really need to do first. So anytime you want to do the monthly Zombicide game, there are many warm-up, let us know so we can keep that little tradition going, because that's fun. That's a fun thing to do. But you have a Dark Vengeance box just sitting there. You have quite a few unopened boxes, I'm betting. So yeah, if you can get on them, get on them. That's the goal of my stuff, man. I'm not doing all the work to get this room prepped just for no reason. That's the whole goal, is when it's over and done with, then I got a dedicated area in it, which is what I've needed for a long time. Same thing with Keegan. He's got areas he could use, but there's just a lot of commotion too. Oh, cool. Yeah, you don't. I mean, Mini Warmutt, getting the game out in a week or two is fine with me, but don't put off doing what you want to do to get to that. I'm just kind of reminding you once in a while because, yeah, it was a fun game. You started it with us, and I just wanted to see what happens when the train gets off. And Zombicide's just been kind of a thing we all do. So, but do it as you can. You've got things you've got to get done. So, by all means, get that stuff done. There's lots of little touch-ups and knickknacks and stuff. Oh my God, you have Blackstone Fortress also? Yeah, that's collected dust too. Well, and plus you got all these historical miniatures. So do one thing at a time. That's all you can do. I seen the Blackstone Fortress. If you got that big box, that's quite a bit. Too many squirrels. Yeah. So what you got to do with the squirrels is train them, sir. If you can train them, they help you. Yeah. Exactly, Keegan. Holy cow. Yeah, well, see, again, you can only do so much in a given day, and you got work too, so do what you got to do. But that's Gamers with Coffee's thing for this year is we've done a lot over the last few years, and then it got disjointed and disorganized a bit with all these things coming up, and now we're just restructuring it and going forward with what we got, and the goal is going to be the same, just to meet other gamers and keep it fun. And that's our goal. If we grow to 100 million people, fantastic. If we don't, we don't. It's about having fun first and getting to enjoy people. That's the thing. Kind of like going out to the March to Victory. Why do we drive 5 to 6 hours one way? Because it was fun. That's why. And we get to meet other gamers in person. That's why. And Mini Warmutt, I hope you can make it out there, sir. I hope that you can, even just for one day. We're not going to be able to go until Friday night because Crystal's going to go with us this time, you guys. So we were going to go Thursday, so we were out there Friday, but this time we're going to have to leave Friday night. So we'll be there Friday evening, probably about midnight or so, or 1. And then we got the game we're going to demo Saturday, and then we'll be there for half the day Sunday. So we'll get some good time in, get some live streaming in and stuff going on, and see what's happening there. But yeah, Mini Warmutt, you most definitely got more to unbox than we do. So go for that. Oh, well, thanks, Mini Warmutt. It'd be neat to see it grow more. It's just a matter of it just got disjointed, man. And then all this crazy stuff ever since basically the whole COVID crud. It's just been one stupid thing after another, and then switching jobs and just all sorts of stuff that has changed and that has made a significant impact. I believe it will, Keegan. I think it'll help more. I mean, finally, I guess we're at 400, Mini Warmutt said, so that's cool. It's nice. It's interesting. We got more people on TikTok than we do here, and more people on more downloads even on our audio stuff. So that's kind of where I want to go with more of the podcast also. Oh, I do have 401 subs. Okay, I think Raven Rook, he said he subbed, in which when I get off, when I'm done here, I'm out to dig his channel up and subscribe to him. Because anyone that subscribes, I'm going to subscribe back to him also. Oh, I'm sorry there, Mini Warmutt. Your mom is in the hospital. You know what? Your mom's freaking 10 million times more important. So you take care of your mom and help her. You only got the one mom, so take care of her. Well, if she's going to move into your house, then that's very commendable, Brian. A lot of people today, sadly, discard their parents. And if you're going to take care of her, that's freaking fantastic. I know it's a lot to do. We took care of the kids' grandfather for quite some time. And for about 10 years, it was a long time. And it does take a lot out of you, but you got to do what you got to do. That's hugely commendable. So props to you, Brian. March to Victory is going to be around. You're right. I think they started something there. Minnie Wormut was saying it'll be around. Yeah, they started something, man. And so I don't see it fading away because it's taken off for them a little bit. And the more they do it, the more notoriety they're going to get and the more people are going to go. And eventually they may have to even upgrade from where they're doing it now. Because right now where they're doing it, they were fairly full last time we were there. So, yeah, it's going to be around to do. So take care of your mom. That's the most important. I've done the best I can helping my mom out with her problems in the evenings. And you got to do it, man. That's it. So I wish you all the best, by the way. So hopefully nothing but good things for you and your family this year, for all you guys and your families. But yeah, do that, man. Do that. With Keegan, Brian, we were thinking of sedatives of some sort. For this coming year, it's just a matter of restructuring things to get it into his food for him so that he's blissfully unaware. I'm just joking. But there's a few things I want to speed up the games a little bit. You know what I mean? And the live streams are fun. But I think for the battle reports, the way our group plays, we're going to have to kind of chop it up a bit more and put it into shorter sections for what we're doing. But stick around. We're going to do a lot of stuff and hopefully make it more interesting. And Keegan's been picking out outfits. Something about Brian wants to see him dance. Don't know, Brian, but we'll just leave it at that. So there you go. Don't be surprised is all I can say. Right, Keegan? But yeah, I think this year, even though the world is falling apart and it's a crap storm out there and all sorts of dumb, stupid, and bad things going on, the only thing we can try to do on our end is just go forward and make it as fun as possible for as long as possible. And stock up on coffee in case there's any supply shortages. And yeah. Well, hello, Rosie. How are you? We were talking about you guys a little bit earlier in a good way. So glad you stopped by. Thank you. I know it's late for you guys out there. What, about 11 o'clock-ish or so? Like a 6-hour difference. So if you could pass along to Kaiser and Johnny B that we said hi, I would appreciate that. And we're doing okay. So far, so good. Just getting some things in order, try to make it a more functional year. How's that? More functionality, I guess, is about the only thing I can come up with off the top of my head. And so hopefully you guys are doing out there across the pond very well. Doing good. I've been catching up on your guys' videos. Well, thank you. Thank you, Rosie. I appreciate it. Because it's hard for me to interact with you guys anymore. I used to be able to, and then I switched jobs. And then once I switched jobs, it was harder for me to, like, you guys' lives and stuff start. And I'm like, I can't can't do it at work, so it's been a challenge. Well, I'm good. I'm glad you guys are doing good out there. Very nice to hear. So many crazy bad things happening all over the world. Oh, is he doing some basing? All right. He does some good work on his stuff there. That's cool. Because as Keegan says, it's all about that base. Well, yeah, it is. In a miniature world, anyways. You got to have some fun. And some of the basing makes a huge difference on some games. It really does. I will agree with you on that, Rosie. He is very talented on what he's done from what I've seen. So, and that's a good thing, man. You got an eye for it and you enjoy it. That's what we were talking about earlier. Just do it. Do what you have fun with, what you enjoy working on. Brian here, he keeps saying his painting is terrible, mini warm-up, but it's not. Actually, he does a very good job at painting. So, yeah. He is pretty talented. And I've seen Kaiser's interviews too. So those are pretty good. You guys got some good stuff coming out there. So that's cool on your channel. Very cool. And yeah, so if you missed what we were doing earlier, we're just kind of restructuring ourselves a little bit to try to get more things accomplished, as just a lot of sporadic stuff has happened over the year, things we didn't have any control over. Work. Clint's daughter passed away. A lot of not so much good things have happened, and we're just trying to restructure and get more done this year. Yeah, you're welcome, Mini Worm. You do a good job. You don't give yourself enough credit on the work that you do, and not a lot of people can paint that fast and make it look good like that. Your painting's very fast. Me, I'm more of I guess I could spray or do whatever. The only quote spray I use is I'll use a primer on my sprues before I take them off the sprues. Yeah, Rosie, she was in her early 20s and she passed away unexpectedly and left behind both her kids, a toddler and a 6-year-old. And it was one of those, she just was tired. She laid down and went to sleep and she died, and that was it. And yeah, it's been pretty hard because, look, you're a parent, you don't expect to outlive your kids, right? You just don't expect to be around to see that. So it's just been difficult. So, but a lot of support from the gaming community for Clint. Really commendable. I can only commend to everybody that hears this. I mean, thank you, because there's been a big outreach of support for him, and he needed that. It's nice to know that people care, and no matter what you're doing or who you are, right? So he's doing better. We did a one live. Our one live was a tribute to her, and she liked the hobby quite a bit. She was starting to get into it. She liked our scene, and it was just an unforeseen thing. You don't expect somebody who's in their early 20s to just, not keep going. It's just not something that we're accustomed to. So, yes, Rosie, you are 100% correct. The gaming community is a strong community, and just like everywhere, you got some not so good people. But I'll be honest with you, I've rarely run across that. It's people really seem to, once they get to know each other, really, really seem to reach out and help. And it's huge. It's huge because people are not people anymore, right? It's just hard to see that. And to find that in the gaming community is freaking fantastic. It really is. So, anyways, I don't mean to blabber on and on about it. It's very important to me. It was a very, very nice thing that I seen just my mom when she was having a lot of troubles. It's taken a year for her to recover. Mythos's group the Frost and Fist group, their chat, man, they didn't even know my mom, and they were tons of support I got from them. And it's just been positive, man. It's been really positive. So hopefully we just continue the positivity as the world kind of burns itself up on its stupidity and bad stuff. In the gaming communities, at least it seems that people are, just trying to be people to each other, and that's good. And that's the way it should be, I think. So just like you guys have a chance once in a while, you stop in and say hi. I really appreciate that, Rosie, because I know the time difference is a lot for you guys and it's late. So it is appreciated. I don't just say it lightly. I do appreciate it very much. So, um, you know, yes, Mitos, thank you. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Rosie. Much love back to you guys. I'm not afraid to say it. I love all you guys. It's it's been nothing but a freaking pleasure to get to know a lot of you guys. And I brag about this to people who are not in the gaming world. They're like, oh, well, I'm in a Facebook group here or there, da da da. Yeah, but it's not a gaming group, and you're in with people who are all about drama. And the gaming groups are not about drama. We are all just here. Oops, try to click that off. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Rosie. I feel well. I feel pretty good. Um, in the last year, I've lost a lot of weight, though, too. So I lost about 70 pounds. And that makes a big difference in how you feel. I've learned to restructure what I eat. The only thing I haven't given up is coffee because, well, there's no calories or nothing in it. Yeah, there's no side effects unless you drink a ton of it. So I think that's what's helped me. I try to be more active and stuff. And it was time. It was time to get serious about doing some of that because I went from doing construction and actually early on, like security and law enforcement stuff in the beginning of my life to construction, and then always doing something physical to sedentary jobs. And man, oof, sedentary jobs not good for you. So yeah. So thank you, Rosie. I appreciate it. Um, but other than gray hair is starting to pop up, and not much I can do about that. I figured I earned them anyway. So, oh, you got an early start there. Um, yeah, coffee's my thing. I mean, it's people have all sorts of habits. They drink a lot, or they smoke, or whatever they do. I don't judge any of that. Mine's just coffee. I mean, it's just I'm kind of boring, I guess, and that's about it. That's my exciting thing. I mean, I make homemade wine. I've gotten really good at that, and usually when I make it, friends and family, if it doesn't last, it's gone. I bottle it one night, and within 2 days, they're all gone. Um, but I don't really drink the wine that I make. It's too sweet, so it's coffee. But making wine's kind of fun. It's interesting to be able to do something on your own like that. And that's always been my joke. That's why we drink coffee to make up for the wine. But I can't drink too much sweet stuff. Yeah. So Mythos, yes. Coffee is your addiction in miniatures. Yeah. There's nothing like that smell of plastic sprues when you open the box, is there? And only a fellow hobby addict will understand that. Other people are like, what? Okay. What'd you say here, Rosie? Oh, you went to London for a drag race event? No, not the car type. Oh, okay. So that was probably a pretty big event then. How far is it from you where you're at to get into London there? Or is it very far for you guys, or is it kind of just a 15, 20-minute kind of thing? So I'm not sure about the distance there for you. But yeah, getting up 7 a.m. on a Sunday early, that's a lot. So yeah, that's the That's the thing there, man. But yeah, associating with you guys is the highlight of my week is doing this little show. It's just good for me. It helps me to get through to the next week too, and then you know that kind of stuff. Rosie and John, say hi to you and to Johnny from Mythos at Frost and Fist. There, he's saying hi to you also. Yeah, depends on which part of London. Oh, okay, well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad then at all. But I could see where you'd have to get up early if you got to do. Um, no, why did it type that way? I mean, that's not too bad. It says that's too bad. Then that's my fault. Not too bad. Come on, fingers. There we go. Oh, that's not too bad. If you go where anymore, you're going to drive to London. Um, you might need a Volkswagen there, something that floats in the water, possibly, or a hydro car. You know, the ones you drive into the water. And guess you could put your mini Warmont flag up though, and people wouldn't know if you was a pirate ship or a hobbyist out there on the ocean. There you go, Rosie. Oh, to Kansas City. Well, I just had to be sure, Mini Warmut. I wasn't sure, but yeah, driving's not going to be too far for you, is it? Just get out and stretch every once in a while. That's what we do. I'm very careful if I'm going with Keegan. When I stretch, I have the car keys because I don't want him to accidentally leave me at the rest stop. He's never forgiven me for when I left him there, and I told him over and over I didn't mean to, but yeah. So just get out and stretch a bit. And if you can make it there, great. If not, again, take care of your mom. That's more important. Oh, yeah, I agree with you there, Rosie. If I had the option between driving or the train, I have nothing against taking trains out here or anything, but driving just gives you the flexibility to come and go when you want to go. And I would most definitely, for that short of a trip, I would just take the car. Yeah, most definitely, because then you can come and go as you need to. 19 hours of driving, Mini Wormut. Oof. Well, I wonder if you could. Is there a train that goes from Arizona out there? You might be able to ride a train. I don't know. Whatever you do, don't take the bus system. Oh my God. Because I took the Greyhound bus once. Geez, that was a nightmare. It was cheap, but never again. Never again. Hey Charles, how are you doing, sir? Charles been posting food that he's been having. Some of it looks pretty good, Charles. I'm glad you could stop by there, Charles. Hello, sir. Um, oh, where would you go? Yeah. Yeah, you should. You should do that. Make it a sightseeing trip and not be just stuck completely in the car like that. Because you do got to stretch, man. It's not good to sit for too terribly long and let all the blood pool at your feet. But you can split that up into 2 days too. You don't have to drive it all straight through, or just kind of conveniently do it. Rosie, you are correct. It is like a cheap tattoo. And I'll tell you what, cheap tattoos are not necessarily good. 100% correct on that one. And Charles, if you're if you're just writing out some checks, I'll send you an email if you feel like just writing a few more checks. I'll give you a couple of bills. That way you don't get bored. You don't want all those checks in that book anyways. So just write them all, get rid of them. That's the way to do it. Ooh, burritos. There are some good places to eat across the country, man. So I used to live in California, and I drove out here to Iowa, so it's a long drive. But there are some good places. Usually the hole in the wall places, the mom and pop ones. You're like, oh, should I stop there? Is it safe? Those usually have the best food. Because if you go to all the commercialized ones, it's always just the cheapest stuff that they can use and that they can get. Oh yeah. So if you're gonna hit Dodge City, now I don't remember where it's at, but when we go, we're gonna stop at Waffle House because there is not one here in Iowa. So absolutely, we're hitting the Waffle House out there both mornings. Got to, because otherwise we can't do it when we get back here. Yes, the rundown cafes generally. So there is a place outside of town here. We went, me and a friend years back. It's kind of interesting. We went to this little cafe on the outskirts of a town, and we were going to go do pheasant hunting. So it doesn't usually start till like 8:30. So we thought, all right, we'll go. We scouted the town out in all these pheasant fields, and we thought we'll stop and just get a little breakfast, right? When we come out, and we did. So the guy took our order, and we watched him go outside, walk across the street to the gas station, and come back with a dozen eggs. No joke. And then he went in the back. And that was probably one of the better breakfasts I had ever had. I mean, from the hash browns and the food that was made and the eggs. But it was interesting. He didn't even have any on hand. So he walked across the street to a gas station and walked back. So it was a good meal though. But it was just laughable. I was at my friend, I'm like, is he going across the street? So yeah. So he just took our order. He's not going to buy anything, is he? And he come walking out with the eggs. So yes, he did. That was Rosie, classic. That was classic. Yep. Mini Wormwood. You will make sure. Yeah. You need to do this. Yeah. Those pictures I sent you of our hotel room, it was scary. Nothing like what it said on Priceline. We get down there and all of a sudden, oh, it's another $100 charge more. So we had to pay that, which is not supposed to be when you made the reservation with the credit card to begin with. And the whole place was dirty. When we got up there to the rooms, oof, looked like they just drug the body out of the floor with all the stains on the floor. And it had a kitchenette. And I was like, I don't know if I would even eat on there. The stove was rusted. Like, if it's an old stove and old cabinets, I don't care. Like, I've done enough construction work. I've eaten at construction jobs, right? But if everything's covered in rust, probably not too safe to eat off of. Blue Springs, I think that's where it was. Yeah. Yeah, that gave McMurray the chills. Well, I'm telling you, man, there's just some nefarious stuff going around. And then when we were there, I mean, and it was better than sleeping in a parking lot. Trust me. So very grateful for the help there, Mini Wormwood. But in the middle of the night, somebody's beating on a door in the hallway, and I open the door, and the guy's drunk, and he wants his friend to open the door, and he can't figure out why his drunk friend's not answering the door. And he doesn't have his key card. I said, well, then go back down to the desk and get your damn key card. Why are you standing here beating on the door? So it was a kind of a hairy place. Yep. And so it was something that, yeah, Yeah. Well, we were keeping our eyes up. We'll put it that way. And yeah, I heard McMurray mention something. I just don't remember exactly what he said, but in the one chat he was talking about, it was a little um, crappy. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is, because when you get online, they show you the pictures, and I even left a bad review, and the hotel didn't even try to make up for it or anything. Um, so I won't ever use that hotel again, I guess. Um, but yeah, all I could say is the positive one with the restaurants out there was Waffle House, because they have good food at cheap prices. You get enough of it, and it's not junk. So my only suggestion to you is try that when you get out there. And if you can get burritos and stuff, hey, more power to you. I was just not. I'll have to scope it out a little more before we go this next time. But I haven't had a chance yet to reserve a hotel. Um, I should though, because it's already January, so I should before it gets any later. But I won't be that one again. I guarantee you, because I have that in my, the old itinerary, so I'll know exactly what it is. I won't go back there. You didn't even want to take your shoes off on the carpet. It was that bad. Yeah. You don't have that one reserved, do you, Keegan? No, you don't. Or did you and Crystal reserve a room? Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know if I needed to reserve one or not. That's fine. If Crystal reserved one, it's probably not going to be with chalk outlines in the room then. So we should be okay. We should be okay. That way, at least the room will be. Yeah, I didn't know many were, but I didn't know that she had reserved one. But Crystal's probably thinking, hey, I heard about their horror story. I'm not letting my dad pick us out a hotel room. You're looking at Hampton Inn? Okay. I don't know what one you got for us there, Keegan, but we'll have to find out. And so just reserve a decent one, Mini Warma, and that's all I can say. Some of them were pretty pricey, and I learned my lesson on this one. Next time, we'll just have to get something and spend a little more, because it was almost like you just felt. The only nice thing about the hotel was that particular bathroom in that room had recently just been remodeled. So the bathroom was really nice. The rest of the hotel room was like infectious disease control ward in some apocalyptic hospital. And you were just like, what did I walk into, So it was not good. And the bed sucked. So although we're lucky, we didn't get bed bugs or bit up or anything that I know of. So yeah, plan your trip wisely. Mini Warmont. Oh hey, lack of foresight gaming. You missed the start of our stream. Never get the notifications. Oh, you know what? Every once in a while, from what I've found, YouTube will update or do something. And I literally go back to my list and be like, why didn't I get like Frost and Fist notification? And I've been watching them forever. Or All In for Advantage. Or, I'll go back and find out that I have to turn it back on. I didn't shut it off. So it's all right. It's all right, Foresight. That's cool. It's just, I don't know. If you click it, it should let you know. But I have found that a lot of mine were unclicked. I literally had to go back and I don't know why it does that. But I'm also not the only person you'll hear that from either. I've talked to other people who've had that same thing happen. So just every once in a while, I'll go back and check, because like even Mini Warmut, sometimes I didn't get notifications for his stuff, and I'm like, but I always had that on. And you go back and check, and you have to recheck it. So it's all good. Yeah, see, Foresight, you're saying it's not set to all notifications anymore. That's what I'm saying. It will not. It like switches it, and I don't know why. Yeah, and you're right, Mini Warmut. You do have to select all, not personalized. But when everybody selects it, every once in a while, it takes that off. And because that's how I've always done it, is I want all notifications for those, all you guys that I watch too. And I'm telling you, every once in a while, I've just gone back through and had to turn things on. I found out the hard way that happens, and I don't know why. So, but that's okay. Foresight, I'm glad you showed up. It's all good. We were just talking about getting ready to go out to March to Victory in March in Kansas City, Missouri, and we're going to do a game out there, and we're going to do some live streaming from out there. And Brian here from Mini Warm-Up might be able to be there, so it'll be good because McMurray is going to be there, isn't he? I believe Mini Warm-Up, and so. So March to Victory, Foresight is a gaming like convention that is going to be in March in Kansas City, Missouri. If you go to marchtovictory.org, it's all going to be tabletop stuff. So it is a con for that, and it's actually pretty cool. A lot of the video gaming we've done over the years, a lot of some of those games are transferred over into tabletop miniatures. And the upside is there's no lag. You play between your friends. You're not worried about server lag or, you're trying to shoot somebody like in Call of Duty and all of a sudden here's bullets and then they appear because the server lag gets you killed. So with this, it's all the miniature stuff, mostly wargaming. And it's just a fun thing to go do. We're going to host a game down there. And so if you ever seen the movie Red Dawn, or the older one or the newer one, there's a company called Battlefront that makes a game called Team Yankee. And so we're going to do Red Dawn scenario. And they actually came out with the 1984 Red Dawn movie. They're doing, so you got the Wolverines to play against, all the Soviet equipment, and it's all it's all miniature gaming, and it'll be fun. Well, let me catch up with this here. Charles. You have a problem with Jester's channel? You got the full bell marked. Mark, make sure you mark all. Because it's been doing it to a lot of people. And I think sometimes they do updates. Of course, they don't tell you when they're doing updates a lot of times. Well, Foresight. So when we do our stream, it'll come through our YouTube channel here and Facebook group and page, like where it's going now. So probably, when we do ours, I'm going to take this laptop and I got a camera. We're going to see if we can set it up to do it that way there. If I have to do it through the phone, then it'll just be on the YouTube, but it'll be a live stream. But go check out their website. You'll see what I mean. There's even a picture of Keegan on there, Brian. Mini Warm-Up. Keegan is pictured in a Star Wars game they have on the table. So, yeah. You accidentally, a box just opened and we don't know how that happened. Yep. And let's see here. You are in Foresight. You're familiar with some Team Yankee and that. Yeah. If you can catch a stream, that's cool. I mean, obviously, if you got training to do and things you can't get out of that, that's okay. We're just going to try to do the live stream there and let you guys know how it plays out. So I think our time frame is going to be like 12:30 to 3:30 on that Saturday. So it would be March 24th, I believe, is the Saturday. And hey, Millers, how are you doing, sir? I haven't seen you for a while. Oops, I clicked the wrong one. How are you doing, Millers? Hopefully everything's going good for you, sir. Well, Fistful of Lead. Okay, so those game rules, you could apply that to most games, right? So Wiley's Games did a good job with that. He did a real good job with that rule system. So you could apply that to Team Yankee. I know there's a way you could apply it to that, except for to keep it about the Red Dawn movie and the invasion of the Soviets and the Cubans on American soil. So the box set I got from Battlefront, it come with the Soviets, um, and Cuban troops and Cuban BMDs. So it will be quite interesting because we get to play the scenario that a lot of people like the movie, and we're doing something different than everybody else. And so that way, nobody's doing the same thing there at that con. So I would check it out if you can, because we're also going to be showing what other people are doing at other tables. We're not just going to be live streaming us. We're going to be promoting a whole damn thing, and anybody that we can there, because it's a pretty cool place run by some cool people, and it will be fun. All right, Millers, how did we do? We all had a good holiday. Hopefully you did. Minnie Wormut says he's going to spend most of his time at the bar. The bar's right down by the tables there, Minnie Wormut. So you would be right there where we're at. They did have snacks last year, like things to snack on and stuff. And I will tell you, there's a Starbucks and some other coffee shops right down the street. So there's no wanting of food in that area. And they have food there. And the silent auction, I think Keegan's been banned from. I think my daughter banned him from that, or just gave him $1. We'll see. I don't know. I got a hell of a deal on $3 myself. So I was completely thrilled to get a $35 box set of Germania Horsemen for $3. So I can't bitch about that. And they had all sorts of stuff. We still got terrain still sitting here in my front room in totes that Keegan picked up. And so we're not short of, especially desert terrain stuff, which was pretty cool. But yeah, the silent auction will be good, and it will be fun. It'll be fun. Yeah, he did. He got some awesome deals there. I mean, he really did. There's no way to deny that, especially on the Team Yankee stuff. I mean, you were looking at $210 worth of box sets for $15. You want a giant bottle, Keegan, for what? Oh, a giant bottle. Okay, never mind. I looked at that wrong. I was like, I could see you taking a bottle. All that stuff just sitting there. No, actually, it's not all just sitting there. We've used it, but it's being categorized too. And we did show some of it off. It's just, there's a lot. And I told Keegan, we need to kind of prioritize what we're going to use, what we're not going to use, and then what you're not going to use, maybe give away to other gamers, or do giveaways with, or sell it cheap or something, because I mean, terrain's always a good thing. We got a ton of terrain. But ironically, we don't have a ton of Team Yankee terrain. That's the one thing we don't have. We have a lot of World War II terrain, and some desert terrain and things like that. You might use it one day. You are correct. You might use it the one day. You never know, sir. I mean, it's all going to get used at some point. It's not just going to sit there. It will be used for sure. And probably be able to use more of it if half of our game plan works out this year, then we'll be using more, because I'd like to do local ones too. In our area, sometimes they have them 2-3 hours away. Oh, wow, Minnie Wormut, you almost got 900 subs? Cool. Sure, you might. That's cool, Minnie Wormut. Very good, man. Very good. So for those of you who are watching this, Let me hold on a second. Somebody's at my door. Just a minute. Okay. Sorry about that. Don't answer it. Well, I had to answer it. It was my son. He needed in to get something there. Jaws music, yeah. Do 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 do. Mitha says, "Congratulations there, Mini Warmut." But yeah, so yeah, sorry, had to answer the door there. I was trying to figure out who was coming in because I had the door locked. So, and oh yeah, the dog. That's my dog, Rosie. She is a Black Lab Coonhound mix. Come here, Jessie. Her name's Jessie. Come here. Come here. Hop up. Come here. Let's see. I don't know if you can see her. We'll see. There she is. That's her. Being all loving and whatnot, huh, Jessie? So she's pretty protective, though. So, all right, girl. You're the star. Yay. It's Jessie. So that's her name, Jessie. Now you can hear her going, oh, because I'm like rubbing behind her ear and she likes that. So she starts doing that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the dog is, did I say? I think it was a black, well, she's a Black Lab Coonhound mix. So the one parent was purebred Black Lab. The other was a purebred Coonhound. And they got together when the families had a picnic. So she ended up out of it. She's a very good family dog. She kind of barks a little funny because it's that Lab Coonhound kind of a thing. But she's a good overall dog. Oh, thank you. Hey, Rosie, I will tell her. Jessie, Rosie says that she loves you. She thinks you're a cool dog. So now Jessie's turning around. All right, come here. Come here. You want to say hi again? Okay, you can say hi again. I'll try to tip this down a little. What are we doing, huh? What are we doing? Oh. So, yeah, she's a good girl. She's like going to be 7. She's got big old ears. I guess if she ever falls, she can glide. But canine gaming, yeah. So she's a good dog. She's protective of the house. But yeah, she is. She's got a very shiny black coat. She likes to jump up and give like people hugs. She's super friendly. She is not mean spirited or anything at all. But she just, if someone comes to the door, she'll let you know. And so, right there you go. Could say hi. Oh, I know. I got to get you some food, huh? Man, she gets kind of a. Oh no, where the red fern grows. Oh God, Mythos. That is a sad movie, dude. That makes you cry. Like, imagine watching Old Yeller, and then Where the Red Fern Grows. And then you're just done emotionally for the year. You're done. It won't matter what happens after that. You're just done. So yeah, happier ending. Yeah, she is a good girl there, Rosie. She's more or less doesn't know what to do now that everybody's out of the house, because she'll come back into the boys' room back here and you can tell she's looking for him. She doesn't know what's going on. And so when I got to work during the day, I think she gets pretty lonely, and she just doesn't know. Oh, Marley and Me. Oh yeah, there's sad movies with dogs is not good. You know what? With dogs, they're so loyal. They're not like people in general. Like, I mean, they don't ask for anything in return. Just feed me, pet me, and they're loyal. So it's pretty cool. She's a good dog. She loves the baby. So when I have the baby over here, the biggest problem is trying to get her to not try to kiss the baby all the time. And a dog's purpose is to get into the trash, Keegan. That's a dog's purpose. So, yeah. So she's a good dog. Huh. She just kind of hangs back here. Like generally when I do my show, she's usually just sitting at my feet, just kind of hanging out. But yeah, she loves the outdoors, man. She loves being outside. If I take her out down to a local open area, out here, Rosie, we got some like open public land. And some of the public lands are big. Like there's one in Corville. It's about 30,000 acres. And it's just all public, like hunting, fishing land. And she loves to just go out there and run, be a dog, jump in the water. You know what I mean? And have fun. You'd vote to see more of Jessie. I could bring her on the show once in a while. Yeah. She's a lot better looking than me, anyways. But she's a good dog. So no complaints. She doesn't really tear out the trash or do anything. I mean, rarely. She's just more or less bored. I think she's not used to Gamers with Coffee featuring Jessie. Because that's a good one. We'll have to put that up. Maybe I'll just put her up there and like talk, but be off the screen and just have her face up there. Oh yeah, Charles says he sits at his recliner and a small dog will just sack out on the top of his feet. Yep. Keegan's dog will. Now Nala tears up the trash. She's a big yellow lab. But she also jumps up on the bed too, and so does your other dog, Remy, right? So we're all dog people. That's cool too. Do you have any animals, Rosie? Do you and Johnny have any? I could see Kaiser with like exotic game animals. But yeah, I don't know if you got any animals out there or not, but that's it. Our other dog, Cooper, died the year before. So he's been gone a little over a year, about a year and a half. And we had him for a long time, like about 14 years. Oh, yeah, for sure, Charles. When you get them, they do think that they are lap dogs, not labs. Yep, that is for sure. They will always most definitely try to end up on your lap, even though they're too big. Furniture. Here's one for you, Keegan. How come the fur sticks to everything but the dog? Yet the dog never seems to run out of it, but it's this poor dog. I'm always sweeping up hair. Huh. She's staring at me. I think she knows I'm talking about her. It's okay, Jessie. It's all good. You're all good. So, yeah. We could do that, though. Do a dog thing where everybody hops on and shows their dog off. Oh, I'm sorry, Rosie. Um, that your dog passed away. It's like almost like when a human passed away. It's really hard, especially because we build such bonds with our dogs, right? Um, that it's really difficult. So I'm sorry. I know exactly what you got to go through, and it's hard. Do you have a 9-month-old cat? Um, nice. What'd you name the cat? And Charles? Oh yeah, Dalmatians will chew things up. So Rosie, I used to have a cat. I'm not a cat person, but a long time ago, back when the dinosaurs roamed, and we first got a car. Me and my first wife had a cat she named it Cuddles. And this cat, no joke, it would, for whatever reason, when you picked up your keys, the cat would run to the car. When you open the door, get in the car, and it would jump up on the dash. And now I've never seen this before because most cats freak out in a car. This cat would sit on the dash while we drove, and it loved it. It just would sit there. I mean, they're driving down the street, and people look at you like, yeah, because they can't believe there's a cat sitting on the dash, and it would sit up there on the dash. And you had to hide the keys. Like if you were to get the keys, you would have to slowly take them off the dresser. Be quiet. You didn't want the cat. You didn't want the cat. Yeah, to hear it. Oh, that's cool. Yours is a champagne and white cat named Benny. Then he's a pretty cool looking cat then. Yeah, our cat was weird. It was, sadly it died. Our friend was working on the car in our driveway, and we didn't know, but he had drained the antifreeze into a tray under the car. And the cat drank that and just slowly started getting sick. And by the time we got to the doctor, I mean, there was no way to save it. It died from antifreeze poisoning, which apparently animals like to drink because it's sweet. Foresight says he's more of a cat person now, but grew up with dogs. Yeah, I mean, I've always had dogs, and cats are, I'm not against cats by any means. The cat we had was interesting, but then I've had other cats that were just kind of, didn't want anything to do with anybody. Oh, wow. That is cool. Yeah, walk to the end of the street with you. That's interesting. I've heard of people that have leashes for their cats. I've never seen it, but I've heard of that. Yes, Dalmatians are an interesting breed of dog there, Charles. They really are. Yeah, okay, so I will agree with Rosie. That's kind of where I stand, to be honest with you. I don't hate cats. I've just always been more of a dog person. So if you ever ask me about getting a pet, I would always look at getting a dog. It's not that I dislike cats too much, but I do sneeze around the cat hair sometimes, but there you go, Mythos. Your shepherd sheds a pile as big as it is a struggle. I'm telling you, where does the fur? How come it's not sticking to the dog? Where's it? How are they not bald? You find all this fur, and you're like, wow, the dog still has fur stuck to him, and then there's all this hair. So I don't know, but yeah. I'm more of a dog person than a cat person, but I don't hate cats. It was interesting. The one cat we had, I've never seen a cat like to go for rides, much less sit on a dash. So it was pretty trippy. Oh, wow. He has a deaf cat. And they go out bicycling around London. I bet you does a cat like sit in a basket or something. The cat might like that. And if it probably really likes that if its owner's doing that for him. That's cool. Yeah, Mythos, that is their dog, Remy. He does shed a lot. He sheds quite a bit. Quite a bit of fur. But that's what happens with animals, right? So the little bit of inconvenience is okay. You brushed her and made a hill large enough for an imperial knight died behind. So you basically, Mythos, had enough fur for a backup animal, right? That's what it sounds like. The only problem with fur is like my favorite hoodie that I wear. That's like in my weather out here, it's good for me. It's not, I don't freeze and I don't get, too hot. But the fur shows up on it like crazy. It's just crazy nuts. And so if I go over to Crystal's and Keegan's, it I'll walk out there with all these little pieces of hair on me. It looks like I'm shedding. But yeah, that's funny. That's what I mean, Mythos. How do they lose all that hair and still have hair? And then, I don't know. I think Jessie walked out there to her water bowl. Yeah, so that's cool. We could do a show like that where we could get on there and put our pictures of the dogs up. What is it at? All right, here you go. Rosie says the Instagram account is at. Oh, you know what? I'm going to make a note of that real quick on my phone. I'll check his account out. Don't even got to make a note. I can just get on Instagram and see. Yeah, well, then we'll have to give that a check and see what's what, you guys. Thank you, Rosie, for sharing that. That's nice. That's nice of you. All right, I'm going to try to search it. And it was. SI. Is he in Swag in London? I found one in Swag in London. Maybe not. I'll have to try this again later. I'm not in the middle of a show. I typed it in right. Yeah, I'll have to try to find it. Because that would be interesting to see, to be honest with you. And your dogs are not awful, Crystal. They're not awful. They're just full of energy. They're hunting dogs, and they don't get to get out much. And that kind of a breed, they're bred to be outside, running around, doing that. So they're just going to be more hyper, especially the first couple of years till they get a little older and calm down. Huh, Jessie? So. But we'll have to definitely check that out. Check that out, Crystal, what Rosie put. You'll probably like that Instagram account, too. Come here, Jessie. Hop up. All right. I'm going to say goodnight, you guys, and say goodbye. Here, there's Jessie one more time. Since Rosie says to show her off, say hi. Say hi. Well, look this way. She's like, what the heck? Okay, all right. Oh, did you misspell? Okay, go ahead and respell it then, and I'll. Oh, Travis and Sigrid. Okay. I'd say otherwise I could not find it there on Instagram. So. Yeah, I'm going to look for that when I get off here, Rosie. Thank you. And thank you guys for coming by. We appreciate it. Jessie appreciates it. And I appreciate you guys. So take care of each other. And yeah, Foresight, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it, man. And I'll go back, and because of what happened to you, it's when I get done later, so I'm going to sit down and go through my stuff too, because I'll make sure all my notifications are on. I'll tell her then. All right, you guys, you have a good evening. And Crystal, I'll give you a call in a few minutes, okay? Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.